Hey guys, Ron Musgraves here, guys. Pressure Washing Institute Contractors First. I'm on here live tonight with a guy named Perry Tate, all the way from China, guys. He's from Reach It. And we told, tell them how long we've met, Perry. How long have we known each other?
I was trying to think about that, but it actually has to be the first time I came to the United States was 2012 for the IWCA.
But we've known each other since 2009.
Yes, because we tried to hook up at that NOLA and we didn't connect. So we must have maybe not 2009, maybe 2010.
10? 10? Okay. Yeah. 10. There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
So you started Reach It. What year did you start Reach It?
2011, April 2011, we registered futureofcleaning.com. So that's the official start. Now, I was already in Australia. I was already selling water-fed bowls, which we were importing from Denmark, and building little pure water systems in my little rental shed, storage shed and stuff like that. So I'd been in the game. I'd been to, I don't know if you know the brand Ionics, but I'd been to Craig Morlam's British Window Cleaning Academy over in the UK and learned everything which he had to teach, So I've been around since 2006 in the business, ran a window cleaning company, which we called Ladderless Window Cleaning Company because I'm scared of heights. So I just said, if I have to use a ladder, I'm not doing it. So that we kind of built the whole brand around using water-fed poles. And if we saw a job with ladders, we'd outsource it to another guy who knew how to climb ladders,
How you doing, Tom? Good to see you.
I'm Jurek.
Yeah. Truth Seeker, good to see you, man. And we got a couple guys. We got about 10 guys online now. My shooter tip will not reach that far, China. Now, I want to let them know. Now, do you still have a U.S.-based location or not?
Sure, we've got a warehouse in Seattle now. We actually work alongside with Windows 101. Manny runs an independent part of his warehouse for us. So, we've kind of, sort of married some synchronicities. We do some things together. So, and it's not all related.
That's good stuff. Hey guys, chime in where you're from, man. All over the United States or the world, just chime in the feed here. You guys got questions? Just ask them. We're gonna do this. Obviously, guys, it's pretty self-explanatory. Right there, it says we're gonna talk about efficiency. Right there. Cleaning efficiency. And Perry, I'm just gonna shoot from the hip. He made up this. Go ahead and show him your outline. You got this outline. You're Mr. Organized. He's got a huge outline. We're going to go through this outline. He's going to relate it to window cleaning. And I'm going to try to make a relationship to basically pressure washing. But for something I got to ask you, water control. Is more always better?
More is always better unless you cannot, no, more is always better.
See, in pressure washing, it's not, though, because it creates a mess for us. And if we have a mess, then we got to clean more permeable surface, and then we've got more time on our hands. The other thing is, too, with the pressure washer, these guys that think more is always better, it cracks me up because they'll run 8 or 10 gallon minute machines, and there's nowhere to access that kind of water. It doesn't exist. And so then they're waiting 35 or 40 minutes, and it's like the turtle and the rabbit, and the turtle goes right by them.
So that's why you saw me thinking, because if they can't get more, it's not better, so you have to, and we'll talk about that. Flow rates is one of my flow rates is on this list, higher flow rates, lower flow rates, balancing flow rates to tools, that kind of thing.
Let's start it off, man. We've got 30 minutes.
Oh, shit.
Can we make it?
No, a little bit longer.
Okay, we got 48 minutes from here.
Yeah, that's right. Let's go.
Okay.
All right. So the first principle, you're going to do a little bit of typing, right? And I'll do the introduction.
I got it.
Right. So the introduction is this: that the definition of work is a scientific term, right? So if you go to Wikipedia and you look up work, it's actually a science term. It's called work equals force through distance, or force times distance. So there are two components to work. First component is force, and the second component is distance. If you can reduce the force or the effort required in order to achieve a task, you will have worked less. And if you can reduce the distance traveled in any phase or aspect of the work that you're doing, you will have worked less. So in designing tools and in using tools and in choosing tools as a contractor, what you should be looking at is not the cheapest tool, because that's the wrong direction, because the most expensive tool in a cleaning process is the contractor. Yes, go.
I already got my example for this one.
Right.
The dummy takes the feed hose from the pressure washer out to the faucet, and he walks all the way to the faucet. And what doesn't he do? He doesn't turn the water on.
Classic, yeah.
So he walks back to the truck to get the apparatus to turn the water on, and then walks back and turns the water on.
Yeah.
He's done
and that is distance.
He does double the work just to hook up the water. Okay.
Yes, because he doubled the distance. Yes, same force, same effort. Like how much effort is required to work.
Guys are really they're gonna dig this tonight. Go ahead, get it. We gave an example there. What's an example for you then in the window cleaning?
I'll come to that because I got a lot of examples on that.
Okay.
We'll chunk down right in that one. So when we talk about understanding force is effort, right? Is a better way for us to understand force, right? How much effort do I have to do? And then effort or force is measured in calories, right? So, like that's a scientific measurement of effort, is how you measure effort, is calories. So if you think about us, when we go to work, we use calories. And then we go lunchtime, dinner time, breakfast time, we eat calories. And so we eat calories, we use calories, we eat calories, we use calories. We work, we eat, we work, we eat, we work, we eat. That's our life. That's the average dude, apart from me. I sit on my ass all day long now, but I try and walk off some of it. But basically the contractor is basically this calorie in and out machine, and it's called work. So and you and I, Ron, I don't know about you, but I know you've lost a lot of kilos, right? You've lost maybe 40 pounds or something, haven't you?
Oh,
recently?
More than that. Well, let's not talk about it. I don't want to jinx myself.
But what happened to me is that I stopped being so locomotive, and I got fatter because I didn't change the calories in, So now I have to, manage how much calories I have and do more exercise and stuff like that. It's all relevant because when we're working, what we've got to understand is, we're eating to work. And so if we can use less force, we're going to use less calories. When we use less calories, we don't have to eat as much, especially sugar drinks and shit like that. Excuse my language. And so the whole principle is to manage this thing called work. So then we can go down into examples, as to how do we use less force? How do we use less distance in order to work less? And the end result of working less is a higher hourly rate. If you can work less, you've done the job in less time. So you get a higher hourly rate for the job that you charged, because you don't change your charge because you managed efficiency, right? That's your benefit that you take home, right? And then you can work more jobs in a day, so you get more money with this higher hourly rate, and then you get less fatigue because you've used less effort, and you get less repetitive strain injury, so you have a longer contractor working life. I went around, back in the old days, I used to come over every March, the whole of March, I'd go around America. I'd start up in Vancouver and end up in Miami, and I'd go all through America doing training courses, and this is part of what we used to teach back then. And I interviewed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of window cleaners and or window cleaner bosses, mostly window cleaner bosses actually, and the average working life of a window cleaner is around 5 years, a worker, contractor, because they get neck pains, they get shoulder pains, rotator cuff injuries, carpal tunnel, all that kind of stuff. They just, if you don't learn efficiency, you're going to shorten your contractor's life, your worker's life, and they just quit. They don't tell you, I've got a pain in my neck, that's why I'm going to go and get another job. They just say, I'm quitting, I'm going to go and get another job, So I'll just turn that down. So let's talk about some of the things that you can do. Okay, the first one I want to talk about is wider tools, because we talk about less distance traveled. If you can use the same force to push a tool or use a tool, that if it's practical, right? So I'm going to show you. This is actually a prototype of our new solar brush, which can have a really abrasive surface on it, like it's really, really big. Right, or it can have a silicon scrub on it, depending on the solar panel, whether it's got a coating on it or not. Right. So, and here's a brush that's like this is our radial light. So the point is, if you use a little brush on a window that's 36 inches wide, so I'll give you another example. That's a rocker, 18 inches on the glass. This is 14 inches on the glass. If you use a wider brush, you can follow the left frame up and down, follow the right frame up and down, overlap in the middle, and the window is clean in two action sets. Distance traveled, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, window cleaned. And if you used a smaller brush, you might have to do 3 up, down, up, downs. Up, down, left frame, up, down, right frame, clean out the middle. So you've just added 50% to your distance traveled, which means you've worked 50% more, right? Assuming the same amount of force. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So how does that apply? How do you guys use small tools, bigger tools, wider tools?
So a lot of guys think that if they use a larger, bigger is better, like surface cleaners are better, right?
Yeah.
But they don't understand that if you try to take your 4-cylinder engine out of your compact car and put it into a big diesel truck, the diesel truck's not going to move very well. It's going to move, but it's going to move really slowly. Yeah. And there's a fallacy that when you got, and I'm just going to put this out here, 3,500 pounds per square inch, hot water at 6 gallons a minute, and a 20-inch surface cleaner is going to clean more efficiently and more effectively than a 36-inch surface cleaner with an 8-gallon-a-minute machine at, basically, the degrees are going to go considerably down because our BTUs are not going to be the same. So the heat is going to go down and it's going to reduce the cleaning units, even though you get the impression that you've got a larger surface cleaner. You know what I mean? And it doesn't. So the guy thinking that he's got a big surface cleaner, he may be double backing the area twice to get it as clean as the guy that's going to take the 20-inch over it one time. Right.
So there we're mixing in with the principle of agitation, and you talk about the BTUs. That's energy. That's in calories. Yeah. And we talk about the 3,600 psi. That's force, right? Pounds per square inch is force. So if he took his 3,600 psi and he had a 12-inch surface cleaner, and he used 3,600 psi and he had a 20-inch surface cleaner, he's offsetting the force and the size of it. So therefore, the distance that he's going to have to travel. There's a little 12-inch one he's going to have to do more. 20-inch one.
There's a lot of playing it, because you have to remember that technology has everything sometimes to do with this, right? Because if the technology hasn't come up to where some of these guys with these bigger pieces of equipment want to work at, they don't understand that. It's just they don't understand it. They don't understand.
You have to understand the science for the whole system to be balanced, or you're going to miss something. And so, as you said, he's now going to do twice as much distance because he's halved the force.
Hey, what 2 brushes do I have to give away, Perry, at the end for these windows?
I think I've got a radial light for you, which is like and here's the other thing, like we talked earlier, like you can say bigger is better. I think one of the brushes is a radial rocker. Rockers come with a whole lot of different abrasive scrubs for different.
Did you send all those?
Yeah.
Do I have all the scrubs? Okay.
Yeah. This is a $450 an hour brush, right? People can't believe it, but people do when they've got one. But people kind of bag me out and say blah blah blah, and I go, dude, I'm sorry, I'm only quoting my customers, So this brush is like really incredible. But the thing is that okay, you say bigger is better. I want a radial rocker, but all the windows you do are residential or cut-ups or little windows, and this can't fit in the small window. This can't fit in the small window.
Right.
So then you're pissing around doing, like, trying to manipulate this big brush in a small window and spending more time than you need, where you could have taken
same.
And gone boom, 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 boom.
That's the same difference with PSI on a large building. You know what I mean? You want more volume on a bigger building. GPM, you want more gallons per minute because you obviously can rinse faster, okay?
Yes.
But you're right. On a little bitty house, it's creating a mess. You're destroying landscaping. You're making a mess of things, and you don't need all that GPM, and you're wasting what's chemicals. And guys don't know that either. They're using so much more chemical. See, in our business, that there's a sweet spot, I guess, what we could tell these guys on efficiency, right? And every job's going to have potentially a different sweet spot.
And the more you can understand about efficiency, the more you can understand about the science, the more you can understand about force and distance, all the way through the system. It's from the spigot or the tank to the building. It's understanding. So another one, if you just think in chemical terms, right? You can have a mix which is, I don't know, I'm talking completely without knowing what I'm saying, but you can have a 1% mix and a 10% mix, and they will do different jobs, right? It's a chemical force, right? It's created.
What if 1% would do as good as 10%?
Then you'd use 1%, right?
But nobody believes that.
because there's nobody out there. Well, there are people. Craig Harrison is teaching the science, right? But he's a mad scientist, like I'm a mad scientist. So we look at that. Okay, so
hey Perry, in window cleaning, don't you essentially pre-clean the window first?
No, not.
You
not
sure?
Now. Not now. In the old days, it was kind of like clean the top, clean the bottom, then clean the window. That's the Tucker technique, right? Okay. But now with brushes like Rocker, it's just, this has got, like, if you have a look at this on a phone where my camera is, this is like, if you imagine Brillo, you clean your dishes with Brillo. Right?
But what I mean by pre-clean is you scrub the glass, scrub the frames, scrub the glass. And then what do? We rinse.
No, not with these brushes.
You're done.
These brushes.
You're done. There's no rinsing. There's no rinsing. When you clean it, you're done. It's a one-step process.
Single action clean. That's why it's a $450 an hour brush. Because if you could, like, part of efficiency also is if you can take two things and make them one, three things and make them one. Anything in a process, right? When you look at your business, anything which you can combine and put together. So I took agitation and rinse and put them together and said there is no rinse phase with a radial brush. There's just no rinse phase. These jets that are in here turn the water out and cover the outside edge. The bristles, the water doesn't even go through the bristles. The water sits on top of the bristles. The bristles break the surface tension of the glass so that the glass behaves hydrophilic. Like, in other words, it cascades. Afterwards, it won't cascade, but while this brush is on the glass, it cascades. And the water comes out edge to edge. As you go through the corner, these little radial bristles go through the corner, or whatever. There it goes, the corner. So you roll it through the corner, and as you roll it through the corner, the water comes out and flushes the corner, and then it runs it down the frame as you go in the downstroke. But that's the science of cleaning. That's efficiency. So if somebody hasn't got high flow rate, we'll talk flow rates really quickly. Like this little brush here, in the old days, people use pencil jets and fan jets. They use about... Hold
on, Perry. Look at this. This. Can't wait not to rinse. There you go. How you like that?
Yeah.
He can't wait. Can't wait not to rinse.
Yeah, there you go.
He needs your brush. Maybe he should win your brush so we can see if he can't wait not to rinse. No rinse sounds like roof cleaning. This is funny.
It's not. The fact is that it's not that we don't rinse. We design the brush so that the last thing on the glass is the spot-free water from your filter, and it's the last thing on the glass, and it's at a high enough volume to not get polluted with things that could leak spots.
You know the best way for these American guys to understand what you're trying to explain? Okay. We go through a tunnel at a car wash, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And you're going through the tunnel. The first thing you would hit with is the soap. Then you get hit with the brushes that scrub. Then you get hit with the rinsing brushes. Okay. And then you get the pure water, and then you hit a dryer. You know what I mean? And the chamois. Basically, the bottom line is that this brush is a tunnel that you're scrubbing up and down on the glass, where you're getting the rinse, you're getting the scrubbing, and it's all happening simultaneously.
Simultaneously.
I love that word, simultaneously.
And if you were doing, like, this is how ridiculous these brushes are. If you were cleaning, let's say, storefronts, I'm not suggesting that waterfed is the right way to clean storefronts, but if you're going from store to store to store to store and you clean them once a week, this brush is 5 to 10 seconds per window. That's all. No more. If you were cleaning monthly, it's maybe 10, maybe 20, maybe 30, depending on if it's sold overspray or a few things like that. But, 10 to 30 seconds. If you're going like once a year, once every 2 years or something, it's maximum a minute per piece of glass. A minute maximum. And that's where you get the $150 through to $450 an hour. It's just not overly, you don't have to.
They want to know how to win the brush. And I just got to tell them, I have no freaking idea how you're going to win that brush.
We'll work it out. It'll be the last thing we do is you win the brush. We've got a couple of prizes in the last 4 minutes. Okay.
You know what, though? But I got a couple of hats I'm going to give away, because I got to give away.
No. Stay on efficiency. We'll leave all the giveaways.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Otherwise, we'll lose the content, right? Okay. So the second thing is overlap, right? Overlap. So that in a window cleaning, you see guys like this is a squeegee, yeah, and you see guys, they go up and then they fan and they fan and they fan, and when you look at when they fan, they've got this bit of glass is already cleaned, right, and then they use this part, but when you actually look at the depth of this part, they're only using this much of the squeegee. Like that fanning technique, it's got its place, but it's not efficient. The fastest way to clean a window with a squeegee is like that, straight pull. The whole width of the squeegee is used in a single action. And the fastest way to clean a window is, if you could, like that, done. Sometimes we've got guys who have got universities and business parks. We actually custom make them a brush, the width of the window. They've got like 1,000 windows to clean. So we make them one brush, the width of the window. The guy turns up at the job, goes like this, and goes to the next window. I can't do it on your window, Ron. I tried to get to your window. like this is efficiency. A single action, boom, boom, boom. Like we might make it 36 inches or 27 inches or 18 inches or whatever. He's got 1,000 of them. Boom, 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 boom. And then he puts it away in his shed. Next year he gets that job, or 6 months later he gets that job. He brings that brush out again. That's efficiency. So
I gotta hook that brush up and try this. So I gotta do that. We gotta make a video of that. I gotta get that done before. So it's gonna be a slightly used brush, only used once.
No, I've got new ones for you.
Okay.
For you to get.
I want to try that.
I sent you a whole elite.
I've got them. I'm gonna try them.
Okay, so I got a 56-page book here. Right, everything I know about window cleaning and efficiency, and it's all in this How to Clean Windows Faster manual, right? And you can download it on a PDF, right? And it's all there, there. Or if you go to the store and you go to download, you say I'd rather read a book because I'm old school or something like that. Then you just order the book. The book is free. We'll send you the book for free. Yeah,
for free.
And then you can. Yeah.
Okay.
No, this is the best-selling tool in the world. Like, it cost me.
I also put the link in there. The link in there is to the book, right?
Yeah, no, that's how they can get it. They can either download it, read it tonight, or they can order the book, or they can do both. You can order the PDF and it'll turn up in an email, and you order the manual and it'll turn up in the mail.
Here, I got it right there. There it is. I just hit it in there again. Let's see if I can put it up there so these guys know the link. There it is, right there. Boom.
Oh, yeah. Clean Windows Faster is where you learn just about the brushes. There's another link.
Okay. I got to find the other link.
The future of cleaning link. Yeah.
All right. Let me find it. Oh, there it is. You're right. I got it. I had the wrong link. I got the right link.
No, but this will clean Windows faster. If you
don't tell my publicist I had the wrong link.
If you don't want to know anything about like futureofcleaning.com is a store and it's got loads of stuff in it and stuff that it can be confusing if it's the first time you're looking. So if you just want to know about brushes, just go to cleanwindowsfaster.com. That's all the brush stuff, and you get the book, whatever, All right. So one of the issues, the other issue is because work equals force through distance, and we're trying to use less distance. So one of the ways to use less distance and more force is by changing the aggression. So there's a lot of debris that's on glass that never comes off with bristle, doesn't come off with soft washing, doesn't come off with pressure washing, doesn't come off with little spray-on chemicals. Some do, and some don't. So there could be bee poo.
Man, I gotta be doubtful with the pressure washing. It's not coming off, man.
Well, we got paint over spray.
Have you ever pressure washed a window, Perry?
No. So you can tell me I'm wrong. That's fine. Because
I'm telling you, you're wrong, man. I blasted a lot of stuff off of glass.
Okay, good. So without pressure washing, then we've got paint over spray, bee poo, bat poo, sometimes cooked on, clay dirt in the clay areas. I went to Dubai and did a training on solar panel cleaning one time, and it was like clay dust. I think you guys get that in Arizona, right? It kind of, the dust settles, then the dew comes, and it all kind of glues together. Then the sun comes out the next day, and it cooks it, and then the dust comes the next day, and the wind, and then the dew comes and settles it and cooks it, and you get layer and layer and layer. And so that needs a lot of it. The friction coefficient to get that off the glass is higher.
Dan must know your book. He says it's the Bible of Windows.
Yeah, it is too.
Okay,
it is.
This guy Marco, he wants to buy a solar brush.
Yeah.
So he loves solar brushes.
This is actually the prototype of a 22-inch solar rocker, right? And it'll have it's got rubber, microfiber, won't have magic eraser. It'll have a silicon scrub. So if the glass is treated with anti-reflective treatment, then you can use the silicon, and we've got videos on all that as well. But if they wanted to buy now, hang on, this is how the brushes come, right? So this is called deep frame. It's a deep frame rocker, right? But this is also a 16.5-inch solar rocker, right? The same brush, right? So this has got a magic eraser on it, but that's if you want to take off sticker residue, silicon, stuff like that.
It's the same material, huh?
What? Same
type of material?
Well, you can just take it off and change the material.
But I mean, it's like the magic eraser material?
Yeah. This is genuine magic eraser, yeah. So we get that.
Oh, send me some of that. My wife loves that stuff.
You've got it in your elite pack.
She loves that. If she could get a magic eraser this big, she'd erase me, maybe.
I use it. I tell you, yeah, probably. But well, you could ask her to rub it back anyway. At least that. But I use it for on whiteboards, because the whiteboards just are so painful to get clean. But if you put a magic eraser on there, like we've got these big ones in stock, so I just go and get them out of the warehouse and scrub the whiteboard, and perfectly, even red comes off like really, really quickly.
Tom is a fan of yours. He has your book. He says he loves it.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Oh, right, man, love your stuff. Tom really likes your stuff. That's awesome.
We got a few thousand.
Tom's a Perry Tate fan.
So you want to use less force, you can use more aggression. I think in pressure washing, it's either more pressure, like a different tip, because you can change the pressure from the tip by having that little brrr one or whatever, and you've got higher pressure, different tips, different splays. But in window cleaning, we can change what we put on the glass. So these are bronze wires. This is stainless steel threads stitched into polyester. They're really, that's brutal. But if you only wanted soft, you could have microfiber, and especially for hydrocarbons.
Where did you learn the steel wool trick?
I'll tell you, not from anybody in our industry. Because our industry
could it have been an auto installation guy?
It wasn't, but the data's out there. Like people go in Windows, you'll scratch a window if you use anything more than quadruple O, triple wool. That's just not true. The key to it is make sure that the strands are parallel to the glass. They're acting as blades.
I know. I had a guy, he replaced the side window and it had imperfection in the glass. And I was like, I'm not keeping that. He says, when I leave, that won't be there. I said, how's he going to fix that? And then he explained it to me, and it did look brand new. I mean, it was just, it was incredible.
Yeah.
So.
Bing, what's that sound like? Money. So you can change the efficiency of a brush by changing the agitation. There's a difference between nylon bristles, boar's hair bristles, and then all the scrubs that you put on a brush, so that in the same action, you can achieve more result with the same force. So that's why we have 8 different scrubs in the rocker brush, so that we can, because if you've got hydrocarbons, you live near a freeway or a highway, or you've got an industrial area next door, or you've got like food production plant next door, or anything like that, or within the wind range, you're getting organics, hydrocarbons. That's what's getting on your window. And then I live right beside a river, and there are barge boats going up and down. So if I leave my window open, it turns black, over 3 to 4 months. You can't get that off with bristles and water.
Hey, Perry, I think my manuals are here. Hold on a second. I'm going to step out for 1 second. Hold on.
Okay, you go and do that. So you can't get that off with water and bristles. You're there, and then you leave little lines. If you see little lines in from the bristles, you go up and down with a brush and you see little lines on the glass, that's got something that is not soluble or able to come into solution in water. It's rejecting it. So you leave little scratch lines, right? So you can get microfiber and add a detergent like Dawn or something like that, and then you just use that as your scrub, and that'll break down the hydrocarbons, and then the rinse from the radial rinse will flush it off, right? I won't leave any spots because
it wasn't. But did you pay John Mickelson to say that about you?
No.
The Steve Jobs of window cleaning.
But John has been on the whole journey for me. We've lost some people on the journey towards this level of perfection, but we also had an iPhone 3 at one point. Now I've got an iPhone. I'm waiting to get the new one out on 13th. So. And then the other thing we want to talk about, we just got one other thing, is just that what you alluded to, the very first example that you gave was just that route management. It's not only what you're doing with the tool when you're working the tool, but actually understanding how many times you're going backwards and forwards from the vehicle, how you run your hoses, all that distance. So we have a thing called reload, where you can carry a second brush on your hip, because maybe you need a big brush and a small brush. Maybe the south wall and the west walls have got cooked on stuff that you need the radial rocker with a scrub on it, and the east and north walls are not getting that level of heat, so you can just use a normal bristle brush, and bristle brushes have a lower friction coefficient, so you need less force. So you're working less if you use something like a light or a radial. I think I've got a radial here somewhere. This is a radial brush. Whoa, where are you? There. So if you wanted to use a radial brush, you're going to use less force to clean a window, as long as what's on the window comes off in 1 or 2 strokes. And if you can't get it off in 1 or 2 strokes, you go to the rocker, which has got more abrasiveness. I'm sure the efficiency in pressure washing is similar. If this doesn't work, do this, because you'll use less time.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Pre-cleaning, Perry, and like you're saying, where everything's getting cleaned at the same time, obviously in the pressure washing industry, I'll give you an analogy to the same situation what you built. When you do instant capture recovery pressure washing, in other words, there's a vacuum cleaner on the head of the surface cleaner. You're cleaning and you're sucking, all the dirt right up, and now you have a clean surface and it's done. There's no rinsing. That's where the efficiency. See, a lot of guys think about reclaim as it's all about the environment, and they don't understand it. There's an efficiency to reclaiming if the job site fits the application. Yeah. Sometimes reclamation isn't more efficient, because if it's a smaller job, Setup is going to obviously take longer, and then you're not going to save the amount of time rinsing, where you could rinse something by the time you set up, then you wash, you rinse, and you leave, you know?
Yep.
And where if you're on a larger site, you set up the reclaim, and now you're rinsing and you're done. Especially, I'll tell you where this falls into play, a specific application. Have you ever been in an airplane hangar?
No.
There are no drains. And you know there's a size sometimes of 4 football fields.
Yeah.
4 football fields. Well, there's no drains. So could you imagine how inefficient it would be pushing water literally hundreds of yards across an airplane hangar rather than instant capture and just being done with it as you go?
Yep.
You know what I mean? You're just done. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that would be the home run of like the example of trying to do it without reclaim.
And I think the other one in pressure washing, which I hear guys talk about a lot, is the draying of the hose. Once they've got a long hose, that hose has a very high friction coefficient by the time you've got, 300, 400 feet of it. I don't know what the maximum length is if it's on a reel, but they start dragging it around the work site. And I did Carlos Gonzalez parking garage cleaning. We went down to Mexico. I can't even remember where we went, but probably
gas station train.
Yeah, I did that. Harrison and I went across. Where did we go? What's the name of that place?
Cabo. Cabo San Lucas.
I can't remember. Very little of it. All I remember is I looked like Wolverine at the time, and everywhere we went, all the locals was like, Wolverine!
Yeah, that's funny. They thought you were him. That's funny stuff.
They seriously thought I was him. They forgot.
Another one from John Mickelson here. He said, I use the radial since its conception. It's a game changer in water-fed pole cleaning. There you go, man. I mean, there's another testimony for you.
Yeah. We got a few hundred of them. It's because look at the bottom line. Once you understand the science, you understand the product. If you understand the product and then you understand the technique, it's a tool with a technique. If you go and pick up this brush, give it to your lead tech and say, tell me what you think of this. What's he going to do? He's going to use it like the brush that he's got, which is probably a broom brush with a couple of jets drilled into it, And so he's going to use the same technique. He's going to go bang, 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 bang across the top, bang, 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 bang across the bottom. And then he's going to go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And then he's going to take it off the glass and he's going to go rinse, 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 like that. And if he read the manual, like he goes, like, what the technique is this? You go, how do I do this? Anyway, you go up, across to the corner, and down, anyway. So you basically, where am I? Like the reacher technique is the same as the squeegee technique. Start in the center, go across to the corner, come down and take it out. Then you go up to the other center, and you go across to the other corner, come down and take it out. And then if there's anything in the middle, you take out the middle. But if you've overlapped, you have nothing in the middle. You're finished. Done. You do that twice, the window's clean. Boom.
I think because you got so many jokesters out here about a used computer giveaway, I think maybe I just might give away a used computer to somebody. I got an extra one laying around. What the heck?
But look, if we wanted to have a heart to heart about all the journey, I'm 6 months off 60 years old, right? So when I was 35, I was as ambitious as anything, and I grew a business from $0 to $1.5 million a month, right? And you've watched me with Reacher. We haven't done that. We've just been slow and steady, get everything right. Like, why? Why is Reacher 11 years old and got perfect products now and everything like that? Because I learned a lot from that experience. And while some people want to say that we burnt people, we didn't. We didn't. We got investigated. We became a course in the university. What happened to our business and stuff like that. But if I was really a crook, I wouldn't have called it Perry Tate's Computers, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That would have been a good idea. You would have called it Microsoft.
It's just. Like, keep me out of this, but it was like the people don't know, but I had a vision on how to take kids in poverty to release their full potential through the internet. And it was Windows 3.1.1 and dial-up back then. And we were buying ex-government computers. I mean, it was a pure vision. And I'm still, right now, we're building a course for Nottingham University in Ningbo for students to understand Business 101. I'm not a great businessman. I'm no corporate, I'm no entrepreneur at that level, but I understand how to take something that's an idea and turn it into something that makes money. I don't make a lot of money, but I know how to do that. So I'm going to be working with Nottingham University in Ningbo here to give the students the wherewithal to just get some practical experience on how to grow a business, how to scale, what needs to be in place, what systems and processes, what maths do you need to understand. It's simple. It's not over too much. I should show you this while we've got time.
Okay, let's do it.
Because this is our new product, right? So it's not designed for our industry, but it's actually designed for any tool battery, right? It's a floodlight or a spotlight, right? There goes your tool battery. We don't sell the battery, right? This is the product.
Does it have a mount?
What for?
Can it mount?
On a pole, you mean?
Anywhere. Can it mount anything?
I've got two versions. I've got a safety version. Oh, hang on, the battery's not there. I've got a safety version. So if this is actually made for roadside, right? And auto, camping, whatever. And also the second application is for window cleaning for extending daylight. When the fall comes and you can't finish a job in the day, you can put two of these down, and this will cover 200 feet and light up a whole building. So but they just use your own battery. We can make it for Bosch, Milwaukee, DeWalt, whatever battery power you have, that will make this fit for you for that, right? But we have another version which we make for Australia, which has got it doesn't have this, and it has an Acme thread in it, so you can just screw it onto a tripod. So if you wanted to light up a work site, or we'll have a look, we'll talk to the police about it and stuff like that, about whether it would be advantageous for them as well and whatever. But
yeah,
this is like a brand new product. So we haven't even got a website for it yet, but it's going to be called Hype, right?
Nice.
And then, so I'm going to start selling these because we've got production. So I'm going to start selling.
Pressure washing guys need them.
I think our industry could take them up, So, it's super cool. When we do floodlight and spotlight. So guys want to go hunting, but guys who go camping, guys who go and working into the evening,
I see all those, but like pressure washing commercially is done a lot at nighttime, at nighttime. And my kid now, I was the old 500 watt halogen, 120 volt. You needed a 3,500 generator to run the damn thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to get up that many kilowatts, and the power was ridiculous that you needed to run 500. Now it runs off the 22 amps on your 12 volt battery motor recharging it. I mean, you can light up a job site now like a Christmas tree with nothing, a few amps,
that's what these are.
Yeah. I mean,
a few amps.
And now, and in the old days, you needed a dang big, you need a power plant on a job site if you were portable. You know what I mean? You couldn't run lights. And what a lot of guys don't know is like we ran hot water. So those hot water units took 22 amps to do it. So you had to have a generator over 2,500 just for the burner. So if you wanted to run a light, you had to have even a bigger generator to power a simple light. You know what I mean? It was crazy. And if you turned on both lights at the same time, you couldn't have hot water.
Oh my God.
No hot water. You get a job site. Here we go. Job efficiency. Hey, we don't have any hot water. Do you have both lights on? Yeah. Okay. There's your problem. How long have you worked with hot water here? Half the night. Thanks, boss. Turn the lights off. No, that's just funny. It's just funny stuff how you talk about like just the dumb things, the way technology has, it just changed the game.
You always talk with John. I watch you and John every time you're on. And the thing is that we know a lot now because we've been around a long time and we've thought a lot and we've talked to a lot of people. But what we know is science. What we know is fact. What we know is psychology. What we know is, but we didn't always know that. So we all came through this process. Like 12 years ago, I had a window cleaning business. Now I have a global business with 4 companies in 4 countries, and and selling stuff all over the world. Most of it is window cleaning stuff at the moment, but we do a lot of other stuff as well. And we design tools based on little ideas that we've got and think, hey, we could make this area more efficient, that area more efficient. We don't even tell anybody about it. We're making a foamer for HVAC at the moment for the Australian market. Not HVAC, kitchen cleaning. The grease trap.
Kitchen exhaust cleaning.
Yeah.
In America, we just say hood cleaning, but nobody likes that because it sounds terrible.
We're designing a product for that industry at the moment, which is looking pretty cool. Yeah. So we're rethinking all that stuff. So that's a lot of people think I'm just Richard or whatever and blah blah blah. That's why I came off social media a bit, because I got so much else that I want to do rather than
you're back with a big hit. You have more haters than I do. This is going to be a very popular video. I'm very excited. I'm very excited.
Oh, I said shit. Oh. I remember one guy was taking the piss out of me because I'd traveled, right? And he says he didn't change his pants. He wore the same pants, poopy pants, Perry, he called me. You go, hey, dude, you try traveling the world instead of just staying in your hovel in Ohio. I love Ohio, but he just never left it. He was excited he'd come to Kansas City.
George came back on again last week after you went off.
I know. I watched it afterwards. I didn't watch it live. I watched it afterwards.
Yeah, he came back on. It's too bad I couldn't get you 2 on at the same time, man.
We could do it again because we can.
George's a great guy.
We were going to cover one more thing, and that is just safety. I want to cover this because we have a lot of guys saying fall off roofs, fall off ladders, right? And my definition of safety is this: risk equals chance times consequence. Most people consider risk as chance. What's the chance of me falling off the ladder? What's the chance of me falling out of a tree? What's the chance of me falling off a roof, right? Okay, the chance is 1 in a million, right? But what's the consequence of that chance happening if it's 1 in a million? If it's death, your risk is death. It's simple. It's not 1 in a million times death. It's death. So that's for me, that's the simple way. I go, my brain wants to tell me this, the chance is so small, I'll take the risk. But my intelligence, my cognition, if I don't use my natural want to be lazy brain, I use my thinking brain and my confront brain, I have to say, what's the consequence of this thing happening? And then that's what I have to treat as a risk.
Yeah. And a tip, it's actually safer, right, to wash from a pole than try to use a ladder on a 2-story window. I mean, it's just safe. But we'll have a disclaimer: low power lines. Keep those damn poles or ladders, because if you're washing with a ladder, you can put the ladder into the power line. So what's less still? The odds that you're going to put the pole in the power line. Because if you put the pole in the power line, you probably put the ladder in the power line too. So keep the pole and the ladders. If you're going to be washing with ladders, keep them on the power line, guys. Keep them down.
And always, there's a simple rule. Always pull your tool down. If you've got an extension tool, always pull it down before you walk it. It's the SOP. No choice. Don't walk an extension pole. I've got a buddy of mine who watched 2 guys melt to the knees when they walked a ladder on a university. It's actually Dr. Douglas J. Mills. He's an ER doctor in Fort Hood, Texas. No, Dallas right now. He used to be in Fort Hood, but he's in Dallas, Texas now. But he actually, when he was a young medical student, he actually watched some workers walk a ladder, and they both were carrying it, and they just melted. One of them died, and one of them, survived. But so it's not only that, Ron. The other part of this thing is just this work equals force through distance force. If you apply too much force, we have some guys use our tools and they're like Neanderthals, way too much force. But they think if I scrub harder, it's going to clean more. And it's not true. So if you use too much force, all of a sudden your rotator cuffs are getting burned out, your carpal tunnels, your elbows, and then if you get a repetitive motion injury, it's as bad as falling off a ladder and breaking a leg or whatever. You're out.
Ergonomics. It's the same situation. Yep. These guys trying to tether 2 8-gallon machines together to make a 16. Can you imagine running a fire hose all night? Could you imagine a fireman has to run a fire hose? And people don't even understand, like, I'm not a firefighter, but I know from firefighters, they time out. They'll run that line for a few minutes, and then another fresh guy takes it over, and they rotate it out. You can't do this in the cleaning business. Okay, break time, rotate. 9 times out of 10, if you're owner operator, it's you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's you, and you got a big building. You got to clean it. You got to get through it. And you're right. You have to have ergonomics in there. You can't be fighting the pole. You can't be fighting the pressure washer. There's got to be a balance. Everything's a balance. Everything's a balance. So,
and that's
we had a pretty good audience, Perry. We really did. We had a consistent. We had about 15. We got about 15 of your haters and a good 20 to 40 guys on solid here for most of the night. We blasted this out to about 5,000 guys. So between now and tomorrow, hopefully, we'll get 1,000 views on it. We hope. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
You go back to the old days. You used to get like 2,500. I used to get about 1,600 to 2,000. When we were both.
Do you remember when we first started this? We had 5,000 viewers at one time. It was crazy. Yeah. Then Facebook changed it.
They're not interested in people learning about each other. They just want to politic you,
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, because it was crazy.
We'll put an email blast out as well with a link to it. We'll drop it into our YouTube channel and put an email blast out on it. Or
awesome.
Whatever.
Awesome. Yeah. Lots of guys learn some valuable stuff here, man. It's about balance. It's about the job site. There's like you said, there's consequences for other things. I mean, you gotta have a responsible job site. You gotta be out there where you're not going to wind up hurting somebody. Water-fed pole technology, and I'll take this back to this. I laugh at this because the window cleaning industry, and a lot of these window cleaners are going to get really upset right now, okay? But the Tucker poles that we used in fleet washing back in the 70s, okay, with the soft water, DI water, Culligan, okay, that's the first step of water. That's it. That's where it was created back then.
Completely.
And the window cleaners don't understand that pressure washing guys have been pure water rinsing windows after they pressure wash a building, I probably think since the early 80s. Since the early 80s. Yeah. But this whole water-fed pole thing didn't really take off until like the mid 2007, 8, 9.
I came in 2006.
And then that's when it kind of like blew up, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is brand new technology." I was renting Culligan tanks back in 1984. You know what I mean? So and I tell you, I got to tell this story really quickly. This was when I realized I was sitting at a coffee shop. And a window cleaning company, and I got to know this guy. Well, he filled up his water at his shop. He didn't have any system on it. He had a big 225 tank on his truck, and he just had a little 12-volt pump, and he'd roll out this line, put a guy on a pole, and I watched him wash this strip center in like 14 minutes, man. And I go, I'm sitting there drinking my coffee, looking across, and I'm going, did he really just 14 minutes, man? I had to go look at it because I was like, those windows cannot be clean, And all he was doing, Perry, was taking he had a wooden pole with a brush on it and then a gun with his water. And the guy was ahead of him scrubbing right out of a bucket. Right. And he was behind him. He was behind the guy, just rinsing the windows with the gun. And they were out of a strip center with probably 8 stores in it. I'm not kidding you. Less than 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Now, I'm not saying, like you said, that's the way to go, or did he do a perfect job? But he did every bit as good of a job as a guy's going to do at Squeegee.
If all he's done is taken off what arrived on that window since 7 days ago when he did it last time, you can't get better than clean. Anything better than what the customer is.
Well, here's a funny. We didn't bid a building, but we rinsed it. You know what I mean? We rinsed the building because we did it. And they call us back like a month later and said, "Hey, Ron, you know, the tenants are complaining about the windows." I said, "We're not doing the windows." He says, "Hold on. We know we hired the window cleaner to do the windows, but they said that the windows looked better after you got done, and now there's streaks in the windows from the squeegees." You know, they go, "Can you go back and rinse the building again for us?"
I
go,
know.
"Yeah, that'll be another $12,000 if you want us to do that." I said, "I think we're going to have to do that because they're really upset that they were looking through spot-free windows, and now they're looking through, you know, squeegee marks all over the glass." You know, and I mean, and those are the stories you get all the time about this kind of stuff. You know, and it's funny. It's funny the people that still don't know water-fed pole technology is out there. And contractors might get upset with this, Perry, but like I think that homeowners that have a lot of solar, I think it's a household item now, man. I really do. I think it's got to be a household item. Contractors going, "What are you doing, Ron? You know, hey, the guy that's going to go buy the water-fed pole, he's not hiring you anyway." You know what I mean? He's not going to hire you. You know, just like the guy that goes to Home Depot and says, "I'm going to pressure." Yeah, he was never going to hire you. Yeah.
This is what I say. There are people. Everybody's got a vacuum cleaner, but some people have maids. Everybody's got a lawnmower, but some people have lawn care guys. You know, like there's a phase in life where you do some things yourself. Sometimes you get a maid in once a month, but you vacuum every day. You know, but you get once. You know, so somebody might, you know, clean their own windows once a month, and then once a year get a professional in to do the frames and everything or whatever. You know, it's just there are phases in life. Not everybody can make whatever money they want to make. Some people have just got a salary and they've got bills and they've got kids to put through school and mortgages to pay. And then, you know, later on in life, the kids have got through university and they want to go camping. And so they say, "Hey, I'll get a professional in." Or they get a pay rise. They say, "Let's dedicate some of the money towards keeping the house clean and maintaining it," you know.
See, I got a hat here, Perry. Got a guy that needs a hat.
Oh yeah,
Jay,
the hat.
Jay, if you're on, just message me and you got a hat, buddy. You got a bug hat.
How much time we got to give some things away?
We went over right now about 12 minutes.
Right.
But I was having so much fun. You know what? We just went ahead. We went with it. I'm in the doghouse now anyway. So.
Don't do that. Don't be in the doghouse. So let's give away a couple of brushes, huh?
I don't know how we're going to do it though.
Hey,
why don't we do this? Why don't
we've got the definition of work.
Well, why don't I just do this? Because I don't know a lot of those guys that are on there that listen. Why don't I just do another blast out that whoever shares this thing, I'll just do a drawing tomorrow for you. I'll just draw out. Draw the name out. So whoever shares, share it. Anywhere you want to share it, as long as it's public. Yeah. And I'll just count the shares on the video, and we'll do a draw out of the hat for the two brushes. Yeah. And there's probably already guys that already have shared it.
And one of these. And
you're gonna get one of those away? All right.
Yeah. Why not?
So a light and two brushes. Yeah. And everybody will get a manual and a hat that wins. A manual and a hat.
How to clean windows. 56 pages of everything I know.
All right, there it is. Right. There it is. Tomorrow, beautiful. Share this thing out, guys. You guys share it out. You made a drawing for the light, the brushes, and you'll get a hat. There you go. We'll have the lucky winners.
Yeah.
So when you coming back to the U.S.?
Right now, because you guys have got no quarantine. I don't know if you've got a quarantine coming in, but if I come back into China, it's a 28-day quarantine. So it ain't anytime soon. My buddy's just come back from Belgium, and he's like 21 days in a hotel, and then 7 days at home. He's my neighbor, right? He's 7 days in home now, so he's 28 days before he can go back to work. So we can't go anywhere.
There we go. Help the guy close a courthouse job out. Shout out. Yeah, I help guys close jobs all the time, man. I love it. It's great stuff. Great stuff.
I love how these guys who are my haters, like it's kind of like a little team of dudes just talking to themselves, right?
There you go, Mike. If you're still listening and you need one, you got a good odds of winning one tomorrow. I'm going to give it away for the guys that share it on out. Share it on out. There we go, right there. Fisher Home, he wants one too.
Yeah, it's good content. Good content.
Here we go. Here's one of your haters, but I don't mind his comment. As long as we're on fire, you know what I mean?
He used to be my test case Neanderthal guy, right? He was just so have to use a lot of force. He's like one of the examples that we use about, you don't need to use that much force to clean a window, but anyway, God bless him. Good luck to you, Jason.
Yeah, what can we do? There's not much to do. Hey Perry, we'll come on. We just hit an hour. We'll come on and we'll talk some more, man. I enjoyed myself, man. It was great. It was a great show. Appreciate you coming out tonight, man. You want to say something in closing?
Love you, man.
Take it easy, man.
See ya.
Hey, guys, Ron Musgraves, guys, Pressure Washing Institute, Contractors First. Guys, make sure you share this video. We've got a couple of brushes. We got a light. We're going to get everybody a manual that wins along with a hat. If you win a brush or you win a light, you'll also get a hat. The guys I told to message me that want a hat, just message me up and we'll get you that hat, man. We appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Ron Musgraves, Pressure Washing Institute, Contractors First. Don't forget, register nationalcleaningexpo.com. Nationalcleaningexpo.com. Free events coming up. There's about 5 or 6 of them. Check it out.